Well, the biggest name obviously was the surprise late night deal that sent Max Scherzer and $35 million. That's what the Mets are paying his contract to go to Texas. And they got a great young shortstop who's going to be in the major league level tomorrow night, Luis Acuna. He is the brother of the Angels superstar Ronald Acuna. That was one trade. Jordan Hicks, frontline closer, goes from the Cardinals to Toronto for two top young prospects. They were negotiating with Hicks on a contract extension right up to the end. He's got like 21 saves, but, it's a bad St. Louis Cardinals team, and evidently what he asked for, they were not willing to pay. So he goes to the Jays. And then they turned around within an hour after trading Hicks, and they traded one of their starting pitchers, Jordan Montgomery, which is a bit of a surprise because they don't have a lot of starting pitching. They have a lot of age and a lot of injury, but they get three prospects out of that deal. And then Colorado traded Pierce Johnson, their closer, who had 12 saves on a lousy club. He goes to Atlanta for a young prospect. A couple more deals on this Monday afternoon. We're 24 hours away from the trade deadline. Cleveland dealt Adam Savale, a pretty good starting pitcher, back into the rotation to Tampa for a top prospect. And Cleveland, they got excess pitching. Tampa's got 7 pitchers on IL. They were 20-3 at one start. They're playing sub-500 baseball because they've lost all their starting pitchers. And then Arizona just made a deal to get Seattle closer Paul Sewald, who's got 21 saves. I'm surprised the Mariners moved him, but they did. Traded him to Arizona for a couple of hot prospects. So Arizona now has what they think is a legitimate closer to go with a young pitching staff that I think is kind of running out of gas. So that should help them along the way. My count as of the start of our live stream today on the Dixie Line scoreboard, my count is there have been 16 trades so far at the deadline, encompasses 22 veteran players moving, and 19 prospects were shipped the other way. Obviously, there's still names like Justin that could still be moved before 3 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon.
Well, I'm still waiting here for the big flurry, because usually they go like dominoes. And I thought when Scherzer was dealt, that's when we'd see a lot of these other pitchers go. And yeah, St. Louis finally unloaded some of those guys. But you look at these teams and everyone needs something, but right now it's got to be a seller's market, right?
I would think so, but I think what holds it up right now is some of the guys, notably the two top pitchers, John. That's big money. That's big money with a team that's against the luxury tax. So you can't snap your fingers and tell Texas, because Texas has spent a lot of money in free agency. Mm-hmm. Go make the Scherzer deal. Well, Texas says, no, the Mets got to pay us some of that contract off. And I think that same conversation is going on between New York, the Dodgers, New York, and Houston, because the Astros are in the running to bring Verlander back. And can either of you guys at Dodger Stadium or at Sunkist Field in Houston, can either of you take on $43 million next year? Because that's Verlander's number. And are you willing to take on the 2025 contract at the same figure? So these deals don't get made with one phone call. There's a lot more stuff going on behind the curtain as it relates to who picks up who. But, the Mets, they've been in a rage. The fans have been in the media, been in a rage all year because of a lousy start. Then the raging question, are you going to add? Or now the raging controversy, you've given up. All that stuff's being directed at the owner, Steve Cohen.
Yeah, what is Steve Cohen thinking right now? Because he spent a ton of money to get these guys, and now he's going to have to spend money to get rid of them.
$355 million payroll.
Wow.
And they're not in the playoff race right now. And his quick response is, we gave it our best shot. So if we move people off, that'll give us space to go do our best shot again in the offseason. So that's baseball. Hey, our